another quick check-in. Basically I've got my rear axle now. This is all primed with etch primer, so that's ready to go. But I basically thought I'd go through the actual process of, like, with the batteries and stuff, and how I used to mask up and just blank out areas to save a lot of time with masking tape. I've got my front axle here to do. I do have the alley ends coming, so I'm not bothered about those bits going on yet. Portals, I've got the anodised red alley covers to match the rear. So basically, all I've done is popped this diff cover in, because I won't be using that at all. I've got the brass ones. You just take one of these children's bands, dead simple. Wrap that in that gap, close the diff back down, and that is now sealed, but we can still get a grip in there to take it off, as it won't stick. And that will give you, like, basically the perfect mask around there. Now for the bearings, and I believe these bearings are pretty much a standard size, pretty much quite across a range of trucks. I know in the Tamiya trucks we use the bearings this size, and rather than trying to mask that or fill it to mask it, because when painting stuff like this, you don't want paint getting inside where it's going to start, like, getting into your diffs and things like that, and it could just cause damage later down the line. So it's best just to keep all that free from any dust and crap, and especially paint. So just using some old worn out AAA batteries, they're the thinner ones, and take some masking tape. Not that one, that's my frog tape. Aha. I preferably like to wrap around that end with the positive side, and just close up to the edge, and then all you want to do is give it up to like 10 good wraps. 5 or 6 should do it. We'll just check that one. Still a little bit floppy. Could do with maybe one more layer on there, just to get it in nice and snug. There we go. So you can also use that as well for spraying. Now, I bet some of you are thinking, you're building a shelf queen. Yeah, I am. Minus the shelf. Won't be sitting on a shelf, and it'll just get treated like all my other crawlers. Battered, abused, and then after a run, just thrown up in the loft until next time. I don't really have any issues going that way about it. But yeah, I know it's going to get scuffed and everything else and that, but, you know, as my wife said, what do you normally do? Well, I normally leave it, so do the opposite of what I normally do. Not only that, we're all locked down again at least until March, so I am in no rush whatsoever to have this built, like, ready for tomorrow to go out playing. So it's on with this, and slowly plodding through a Volvo build, which I'm doing. If you're interested in your RC semi trucks and stuff, the 114, I'm currently building a Volvo. It has been a long build so far, but I just went through a phase in myself where I just couldn't be bothered anymore, and here I am a couple of years later, getting back to it. So they've been a bit slow in the past, but I can kind of start making up time on those now. Well, as time allows with the current lockdowns, really doesn't help. But did enough whinging about it last year, and this year I honestly couldn't give a... not getting me down. All I can do is try and take positives from it all. And then basically repeat that for the diff cover. Sorry, not the diff cover, where you put in the prop shaft. Lovely jubbly. Just stick that now, clamp to some helping hands, and we can swivel it around, rotate and stuff. I do have an actual turntable on its way, make things a bit easier. I've kind of made my own in the past using like paintings and then putting like a bowl on top, but it's not effective. But we just work with what we've got at the time, don't we? So let's go prime. So the first couple of coats on this, I am going to etch prime the first couple, and then after that I'll prime, and then I'll use my base coat, and then my colour coat, and then lacquer coat. I build it up as I go. Some may take 2 to 3 coats, sometimes it might be 4 light coats. I'm just going to quickly show you what I do with the etching primer. It's just same as any other paint, it just adheres to paint much better than a normal primer. After that's primed, that's probably the last time you're going to see these axles until I actually construct this build. I don't really want to give anything away just yet as to what I'm doing. So, but obviously it's all being painted. So, got a nice ambient temperature in here. And the painting is nice and warm through, again just at room temperature. At a damn good shape. And you just want to lightly build that up. This is why I want a turntable. Just makes stuff like this a little bit a bit easier. Well, these are good because you can like mould them where you want. Just get the dust in underneath them. In a few minutes I'll give it another light dusting from the sides, just so I'm getting in all the little gaps. Same at the front. And then I'll probably leave it 15-20 minutes and come back and put another coat of etching primer over all that. So while we let them dry, they've had all the prime coats, I'll just let them dry and then we'll have a look at them. But in the meantime, why don't we have a look at some turtles. So here's the axles finished and primed. Just get it to focus. And the rear axle, which we already made a start on. Now remember the diff covers here, they're coming out, just use those as like a mask. You know, all areas covered. even inside the tiny little holes. And a nice neat finish as well. So it's on with the colour. So yeah, that's that as far as the axles go for you, but for me it's on to paint, lacquer, etc. More of like a bit of a build series kind of, but just sharing some tips along the way. So I hope you guys find them little tips useful if you're wanting to do a full overhaul on one of your trucks or what have you. I'm going to leave that video there at that and say that will do for that point. Yeah, I'd say that's it for that one. All I can do now is progress with these, and then I've got bits and bats soaking, and then they're going to want scrubbing to death, because the amount of residue and crap that comes off from the factories is unreal. So, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the little tips, and I shall catch you in the next video, whether it be on the Volvo, because I've got all them parts out being cleaned to be painted as well, and yeah, or this. Ciao for now, guys. Oh yeah, and don't forget to subscribe, please. I've got me over 50,000 subscribers, and it is just like pretty overwhelming, really. So let's keep them numbers rolling. Ciao.